Okay, so it looks like we're live streaming now, so I'll call the meeting to order, and we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Stand if you can and point at a flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the
of the
flag
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty
and justice for all.
All right. Okay. Entertain a motion to have the minutes from our December 7th meeting approved.
Aye.
Made by Tom, seconded by Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carries. We'll go right to you know what? I'm gonna switch it around since AJ Grassa from Prestige Builders is here, and just courtesy to allow him to be done for the evening. Last month we had this on our agenda, and Jim brought up that really should come from the developer or from the agency, whether it be planning and zoning department, inland wetlands, and so on. AJ is going to, as the owner of Prestige Builders, is going to Zoning Board of Appeals. Normally, we would get a letter from them if there was something that was of interest to open space, but what he is proposing is in an area where we do not have any contiguous open space. It would be a pocket unto itself, but he's looking to preserve some wetlands, and so he thought he'd come to conservation to get our opinion. So with that said, AJ, I can share screens of things that you had sent to me if you want me to.
Yeah, Tom, can you open up the one that has the interior lot so I could show what we're entitled to by the current zoning regulation?
Sure. So this is your R2 layout.
Where are we? Where are we talking about?
This
Sure.
is 394 Long Hill Avenue.
Okay.
It's pretty much directly across the street from where I'm, where the piece that we subdivided a little while back, and we have open space. But actually, when we're done with this, we should probably discuss.
So here we are, Jim, Long Hill Avenue. This is the Board of Ed offices over here.
Okay.
This is a long strip that Prestige Builders recently did their subdivision approval on.
Right.
And it's this parcel here on the opposite side of the street.
Wasn't there something on the other side there that we looked at last year or so? I think
There was a development proposed over here for a PDD because it borders between this Sikorsky industrial property and this residential zone. It was
whatever.
it was convoluted. It really didn't involve us that much.
All right.
The development that AJ had applied for and was approved was this parcel here. It used to be owned by George Gamble.
That's single family.
Yes. Hey, Tom, one point I might want to, while we're on this discussion. So that piece of property that you're on right now,
Yeah.
that's 10 acres, and 5 of it, roughly half of it, is going to be open space. But the mayor and between the mayor and the mayor hasn't let Fran Teodosia let them know how they want to take it yet.
Oh, okay. So it's either going to be in conservation easement or in open space.
I think I want it to be, I was approved as open space, I believe.
That's what the planning and zoning approved it for. Just to show you on our open space map, that's this parcel here. And there was open space and land trust property. And so roughly around the same depth as these other cul-de-sacs.
How do we even get into that area?
It's from Long Hill Avenue
Where?
over
You
here.
mean your access?
No. How do we get? How does the public get into the open space? That's that's Route 8, isn't it?
Route 8 is over here.
Oh yeah. What is that over there? That's that's Ivy
Constitution Boulevard.
Constitution Boulevard.
That's really steep though there, right?
Well, there's a wetlands corridor there, and there is open space and land trust, and we tried to protect the headwaters of the Ivy Brook.
Can you walk in off Constitution there?
Yes, you could.
Okay.
I mean, that's an approved subdivision. Not really what we're talking about.
We're not talking about that now. Okay.
No, I just.
But AJ did want to bring something up about it, so go ahead, AJ.
I want to bring it up because we haven't gotten a determination how the town wants it as to the land trust or I guess there's more than one way for the town to take property? Take.
Yes.
So,
As long as the property has been dedicated permanently as open space, that's really the city's goal. Normally, the city takes ownership of that, but it can have it deeded to the land trust if the land trust wants to receive it and accept it as their property. And any property that the Shelton Land Conservation Trust owns is in perpetuity preserved.
I got you. So I'll find out from the mayor and Fran Teodosio how that's going to be deeded. Because currently I still have it.
Is it about the same? Is it about the same? I'm going to say depth as the Land Trust 12 property.
I think it's actually deeper.
Deeper. Okay,
Because my cul-de-sac isn't going to go down as far as that cul-de-sac. So I think it's a.
I got it.
The attorney Dominic Thomas reached out to me to see if the land trust would accept it. If the city doesn't object, and the answer was yes.
Okay, I'm trying to get closure on it, so I'll keep pushing
I
to
figured.
get closure on it.
All right.
Okay, all right. So if you
Well-
want to go, so let me go back to Tom so he can.
Yeah, so back to so Jim, you're understanding now where we're talking about is this
Yeah,
parcel.
I got
here.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So AJ, this was the
Yeah. Do you have another? Did I send you another map?
you have two maps on here. The first cut map.
Yeah. So this map here, this property is entitled to a first cut, which would have a frontage lot number 1, an interior lot number 2. And then, obviously there'd be a lot more disturbance if I go this route. So this is by right. And what I'm asking zoning to do at ZBA is, instead of having an interior lot, have 2 frontage lots, if Tom wants to go back to the other map.
How wide is each of the frontages on the?
They're 100, it's a little over 100 feet. It's
Oh.
100 feet each, which is basically what's to the left of it.
Right.
So what I'm asking for is I need to have 125 foot of frontage. So I'm
That's
asking
why,
for-
so the zoning requires 125 foot of frontage.
He wants
And rather
100.
than have the rear lot, you'd like to have it reduced down to 100 foot of frontage so that you accomplish street escape for both lots.
Correct.
So
And
the
also-
density isn't going to change. It's just the configuration of the lot.
Right, and that allows me to basically buffer and protect, nearly half the property.
So is that open space contiguous to any other open space?
I think it's a conservation easement as opposed to an open space.
Yeah,
Oh,
your drawing is showing it as a conservation easement, not as a dedication of open space.
Okay.
But
Is
in
there,
answer to your question, Jim, there is no open space on that side of Long Hill Avenue.
is there any potential over there?
Not really. All of these lots have been built up in years gone by. I
Yeah.
know planning and zoning was looking at rezoning the area. As AJ had rezoned for his development there off of Long Hill Ave, and the planning and zoning excluded some portions of property in that region. And then the city through Attorney Teodosio had suggested that planning and zoning re-examine that kind of whole region to make it more uniform in its zoning.
So it actually has been, that whole area now has an R2 overlay. The pieces that were excluded are now included. Had
Right.
nothing to do with me,
Right, it was a city effort. This is obviously old with the city's GIS not being updated, but this was the parcel here that was developed with, and then some of these other parcels were changed. And then the city came back and said, hey, let's look at this bigger picture. And instead of these parcels being R1, maybe they should be R3, because as you look at these parcels down the street, none of them are really conforming to a current R1 configuration. So,
Hey, Tom?
yes, Bill.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I could even be, I'm still a little confused. Is there 2 properties that are involved in this one
Yes.
issue?
Well, it's a single parcel existing that is the right of a first split. And rather than make a rear lot, he would like to make the two parcels have street frontage of about 100 feet. And that's why he's going to Zoning Board of Appeals, because the zoning in that area requires 125 feet of street frontage.
No,
So
I
it's a single
I
parcel
understand that,
currently.
there's looks like a flag lot and then a square lot. Are they combined into one?
Oh, that was his original map there. The as of right was the flag lot, Bill. He's saying, forget that. He wants to do two frontage lots instead.
And what I'm showing on the screen right now, hopefully, is this showing on the screen now with the correct,
Yes.
showing-
Yeah, you're showing it correctly.
yeah, so that's the two
Show
lots.
the before and after.
Yeah,
No,
So
I,
AJ, by going side by side, will there be more open space instead, so you're not, because you're not going deeper with the second lot?
No, more
Right, there's a
easement,
lot-
more easement, not open space.
There's a lot less, yeah, there'll be a lot less disturbance.
Yeah,
That's it. That's-
everything's closer to the road, and that, correct? And there'll be more space. Okay, I got you.
Correct. And actually, one other thing, if you look to the left, there's two houses to the left that are basically identical to what I'm asking
Yeah, I
for.
saw that.
So it's gonna look uniform.
Yeah, I saw that.
that help.
Bill, did you get your question answered?
well, not quite.
All right, ask it again.
Just go back to the very first map, if you would, not those maps, the one,
Yeah, the flag lot one. There, that one.
no, the other, just the, what, that shows the open space for, and the land trust property.
Oh, you mean the
Oh,
other
that?
property? Totally other,
Right.
across the street. Okay, that one.
Yeah, what about that, Bill?
Which lot are we talking about on that map?
Oh, the one above.
We're
LP
talking
12.
about this one over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking the one that was abutted to the land trust lot.
No, this is across the street. It was
I
also
see.
owned by the
Thank you.
Gamble family, but a separate issue from this. So,
Okay,
It's a little shy of 2 acres. And I'm able to protect about half of it.
thank you.
yeah,
That's,
1.83 according to the
1.83.
city's GIS. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Okay, well,
Well-
so now we know what the story is. What are we involved with here? Nothing, actually.
well, there's no application to us other than he is going to ZBA and was wanting our input if this is in line with, preserving more property with less disturbance near our wetlands area.
We always like that, but I don't think we have really any. I think we'll let ZBA decide on their own how they want to deal with this. I mean, we're all for preserving conservation area, so yeah, great. Good job. However, I don't think we want to sway or have try to influence one way or another what ZBA thinks, frankly. That's my own opinion.
and Ed, the back half of the lot, you would accept for, as land trust property?
No, it's a conservation easement is what's shown on at least a proposal.
If it was open space, it'd be different, but it's conservation easement, so it has really, it's great, good, we appreciate that, that's nice. We like people that do that, but that's the only
Yeah,
thing
let
I would
me,
say in the
comment.
letter, that's a positive aspect
Chairman?
of the proposal.
Yeah, land trust cannot take, or would not be appropriate to take a conservation easement, though it could from a private party, but in a municipal development, a conservation easement should go to the city, not to the land trust.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to blur the lines. The development across the street that was approved that has an open space dedication. Apparently, there's some thought of who that dedication could be dedicated to. This is
Oh.
a conservation easement that normally is just placed on the land records and is not granted to an individual. Correct me if I'm wrong, AJ.
Not necessarily accurate. There's
Okay.
always got to be the recipient of the easement. So generically, if it's done as part of a town development, the recipient of the rights to enforce the easement is the municipality. So there's always a grantor and a grantee to any interest in real estate. In that case, it's presumed to be the city.
I knew there was a reason we had an attorney on this commission.
Tom, do
Well-
you have any thoughts?
No, no, I think I was along with Bill for a while there. I thought we were we were looking at the lot that ran, next to that other open space, and it was going to expand that, but now I see that's not the case, so I have no thoughts.
Sorry for that confusion. Teresa, in terms of any conservation easement that would be prepared, do we have some language that we suggest be used on conservation easements that would be helpful for the developer to utilize?
You wake her up?
I think you might be on, well, you're not on mute.
Maybe she's having dinner.
Sorry, can you hear me, Teresa? We cannot hear you. Why don't you hit the mute button and then unmute yourself again? Sometimes that's helpful.
All right, well, we can move on. That's all right. She can come join us later. if We have to. We'll figure that one out.
Then AJ, what were you
Well,
hoping to achieve by bringing this to us?
Well, no, what I wanted, if there's nothing that you can write up, I understand that. Basically what I'll do is I'll let the ZBA know that I spoke before your board.
That's positive.
And that
Sure.
they like the idea that,
Yeah.
Conservation easement made sense. There's less disturbance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
I
probably
need to do. Sure.
the easiest route.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I want to say I appreciate you bringing it to us because
Yeah.
sometimes there's applications for development that we get a little bit of a later look on. And so sometimes having the input early on is
Yeah. Much
helpful
appreciated.
to not only ourselves, but to you as a developer.
Good deal. Well, I appreciate your time.
Sometimes we do ask the developers to put a split rail fence so it doesn't become somebody's yard.
I think in this case, Bill, the backyard would become, there's some wetlands beyond that, and then there's Route 8. If
Right.
anything, you probably would want to leave the vegetation as a audio buffer from all the hum from Route 8.
Well, one of the other things that happens with this property, as you get closer to where that conservation easement, it gets a little bit steeper and it really becomes kind of unusable land. I could have used it if I had to force a house to the back, but I don't want to do that. So basically right below Tom's arrow, that
Figured that.
I can't tell, no, the other way. I'm sorry. But so where that contour line right there that you're on,
Yeah,
that contour line is probably going to be where, there'll be there's no disturbance even beyond that because there's no reason to cut anything beyond that. So.
yeah, you have it as a silt. Yeah, that's where your silt fence line
My
is.
silt fence is there and there's no reason really to go behind it.
Mhm.
So I'll probably that's going to probably end up being my area disturbance anyway.
And there's
No, I don't-
plenty of vegetation on the other side of that probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be more work to go down there to put in a split rail fence or anything else. I did put my split rail fence on Nichols Avenue though. It looks great back there.
Good.
Very good.
Right.
Good deal. All righty, everybody. Well, I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Enjoy your trip. Take care.
All the best. Bye.
We'll see you.
Bye now.
All right. With that, moving on to the natural resource manager. Teresa, are you able to be heard now? Or you're no. Here, I'll mute you. I'll mute you. And then now I'll ask you to unmute. No, no hearing. No.
Her picture's gone too.
No, her picture is still on.
Oh,
for me.
no. There it is.
Well, while she's working out the audio, Bill, we can hear you. So let's go on to
All right.
Trails Committee.
All righty. Well, we met at the barn. We had all our members there and we reviewed, we had well over 1,000 volunteer hours this year.
Wow.
We've written up I should say Terry Gallagher's written up a report of sort of the annual activities and some goals. He gave us a draft today, and we'll touch that up a bit and submit it to Conservation and the Board of Aldermen. We're going to have the Marshmallow March, assuming the Land Trust allows us to use the Nickeldale property, as we always have. Did I get a thumbs up? Thank you very much. The obvious date to have it is March 4th. The only date in the calendar that's a command. And so anyway, that's the first Saturday of March. As far as, we went over what we did. There's been a lot of blowdowns because of a couple of big windstorms. And we're going to go out, try to tackle one again tomorrow that's over both the Pagusset and the rec path, which is unfortunate, but there it is. I don't know if you saw the article in today's Connecticut Post about the
Beaver Dam.
hunt is on for the Beaver Dam violators. But anyway, I think it'll be unlikely that anybody will come forth. But I did talk to a woman. This happened in the summer, and I talked to her, I guess, a couple of weeks after it happened. And she said, I walk by here every day and in the morning. And one morning there was no problem, and the next morning the dam was gone. So it was a pretty quick in and out, where they unbolted one of the iron guardrails, drove a machine in, took a chunk out of the dam, and then made a beehive out and put the guardrail back. And so anyway, we're all disappointed that it's gone, but the chances of finding out who did it aren't. We tried to get the FBI or the people to come in and look for DNA or tire track comparisons, but anyway, it is what it is. I gather the Eversource Tower project has at least some approval as of December the 8th. There may be some more, so but it definitely is going to happen this year. So obviously our efforts are going to be mainly to try to restrict how wide an area they dig up, and then more importantly, how much restoration we can convince them to do afterwards.
Bill, in regards to that, since it's going to move forward, are they planning the actual construction this summer? Or is it?
They said originally their plan was to start in March. I think they still need some approvals and whatever. So anyway, it's going to be obviously a rolling project. I think the plan is to start at Bridgeport Ave, basically, and work their way north.
I think, as in addition to what you mentioned that we would be involved with, I think public awareness or making people aware that there's going to be some conflicts of equipment and this activity to be aware of. If they're using the trails it might be, the fall, which is a pretty popular time for using the trails. I think, just the safety, public interest, outreach to the paper like you did with the Beaver Dam story might be helpful.
Oh, definitely. Well, there'll be basically that Great Ledge, that area there, that basically we'll have to shut off the rec path when they're working there, because there's really no easy way around it. So certainly no rec path like way around it. So yeah, it's going to take some effort and some safety issues and all that to and we definitely need to give the public some notice for as it progresses through town.
Bill, you sure you're not barking up the wrong tree on the beavers in terms of, instead of the FBI, shouldn't it be the BBI? The Beaver Grove investigation.
Yes, it's got to be. Well, Teresa, of course, she heard the pups and everything, the beaver, whatever the baby beavers are called. So, and I guess there was one that was found down on, in the Bar Mill River, so around Huntington Street. Now that's a pretty good ways downstream, but who knows?
Well, if you haven't chosen it already, Teresa, perhaps this year's clean sweep patch might be the beaver.
Uh-oh. Sounds like Teresa's still without sound.
Yeah. No sound. Yeah. Anything else, Ed? I mean,
Sign language.
You could use your cell phone. Or maybe
Let's not
I don't know.
make it too complicated, but
Well, that's right.
Ed, we'll go to Ed. Ed with the canal locks. Any updates with that?
Nothing real new other than the mayor picked one of the two engineering groups, BL Group, to be the primary engineering group and authorize entering into a contract with them. Let's see, did express an interest in the locks being functional, not simply decorative. I commented that that might not be practical for the very top lock that currently has a stone dam built in the way of where the locks would open and close. And then at our last meeting, when we went over the proposed development at the end of Canal Street, I expressed concern that the development was putting parking spaces right up against the canal locks and not making provision in those, albeit preliminary plans, for the rec path to wrap around the project and come up the hill to the top of the canal locks. I forwarded that concern to Mr. Grimmer. Was a little dismayed he wasn't on top of the issue of the proposed layout of the development, and asked him to please look them up on the town planning and zoning website to appreciate my utter concern that we're putting all this effort into restoring the locks only to have a parking lot built right next to it. And have not heard back from him, but intend to follow up on the issue with the next SCDC meeting, which I think is next week.
It's next week is our annual meeting for SCDC. I believe it's on Tuesday. Might be Monday, but it's next week. Yeah. Okay. I don't know of any other P&Z or inland wetland applications to look at. Nothing to update regarding the open space trust account. Quality of life. Teresa, for the property in Leavenworth Road, was the deed filed with that? Was that executed? No? Okay. No holdups or anything with it? It's just a process. Okay. And regarding the parcel in South Shelton, there's no updates on that. We don't need to have to do it tonight, but I did get via Teresa the finance department's budget request. We do need to have it filed by February 16th. I think maybe tonight not a good night if Teresa doesn't have audio to join in on it, but generally, do we have any thoughts of changes for our budget? Is there any trails items, Bill, that you feel that we want to maybe do this year? Is there like significant railings on the path near the dam, or are there other stone marker monuments we need, or elements to furnish the trails volunteer barn? Anything?
Honestly, no, not that I know of anyway. I mean, at some point, the boardwalk across the two streams there, near Lane Street, someday that's going to have to be done over, but it's, showing a little wear and tear, but nothing serious. It did have a Cadillac drive over it, so I guess pretty sturdy, but like it's obviously made out of wood. And so at some point, and then if we decide to have somebody do that, a professional come in with the machines and whatever, that's like $300 or $400 a foot. So it gets up there pretty quick. But in any case, as far as next year, I think we're all right.
Okay. Well, Teresa, I think I have time to do it for next month's meeting so that we can share screen it and look at it a little more deeper. And then I can send it to everybody too, because there's some elements of it beyond numbers with goals and statements. Maybe we want to freshen that up and review it before we submit it. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. That's really all that we have at the moment. I assume everybody got the email from Teresa regarding the holiday dinner, or I guess it's a buffet dinner.
What's that say, Teresa?
There's only a few people that she has circled. Yes,
Teresa, come in, Teresa. Teresa, sign me up.
all right.
I'll be here.
I'll be up in Vermont that day. I've got a question. I don't know if you guys have been following it too much in the papers, and it's getting to be a bigger issue. People, changing their lawns into more of a natural landscape and dealing with zoning issues and things. It's probably going to happen here soon where somebody has it. Has it ever been addressed to us in the city? With somebody, a neighbor complaining about somebody else's yard, or I would anticipate it's going to happen to us, and something to have.
I've seen articles about that, Tom.
There's been several in the New York Times past couple of weeks.
That might have been where I saw it. It's like condo associations who are saying,
homeowners
hey, that's a little rough and around the edges. That's not, in line with keeping things tidy in our community, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that there's been any definition of what a lawnscape should look like under a zoning approval, but
No, there hasn't been. To answer your question, no, there hasn't been.
It
My
has
knowledge, no one
Yeah.
has cared one way or another yet.
Okay. Is it like
And we have
the no mow May is a thing too? I don't know. Not mowing your yard until
Right.
through.
That was
June.
a little bit this year, but
Yeah.
no effect here in Shelton.
Yeah. Okay.
and for public awareness, like the no mow May to help pollinators have some more robustness it's a good thing.
Yeah.
No
And I did a
regulatory on
section-
it, but
I did a section about 100 feet by 100 feet last year, or maybe 100 by 50 that I didn't.
I think what would be more beneficial for pollinators, and I think this has been talked about, is when they do have detailed development plans for an application, that we encourage the planting materials to be more native species and be helpful towards pollinators where applicable. So.
Okay.
I mean, more condominium associations are starting to adopt, due to cost reasons only, all over Frisco County, to reduce, looking at ways that they can reduce their maintenance costs.
Right. Yeah.
So this is one kind of good avenue for them to say to their association members, well, we're just following the trend of, not mowing that. And what it has come to, frankly, is delayed mowing. So every 3 weeks they'll mow instead of every 2 weeks, which really isn't the intent of it, but that's actually what's happening. And that's actually not very good for either the grass or whatever. So you either have to decide that you're going to commit to reducing the area and changing out the landscape, or maintaining it the way you had. Because Norwalk, for instance, for quite a while, just recently, they just lifted their water ban. So for a while, lawns were brown, and this summer, as you could tell, why have a lawn? You couldn't keep it
Yeah.
green anyway. So there are a lot of reasons why you might not want to have lawn in the future.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely trending that way. So. All right.
Well, we're into the comments by members zone. So I guess I'll start off with you, Tom. Was there anything else you wanted to add? Comments by members, things to
No, I'm sorry I missed the December meeting and I didn't chime in. I thought I was going to catch it, but I was on the Merritt Parkway in a traffic jam. So merry belated holidays there and a happy new year to everybody.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Jim Tate, you're next in my Brady box.
You know, we're just good family time over the holidays, so we're good. We're ready to go to 2023 now.
Awesome.
We're ready to get out of 2022. We're ready to go to 2023.
Yeah. How about you, Bill?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Happy New Year to all. And it was great. We got together with all the grandkids and everybody. And it was great to have them in. And it was kind of not all that bad to see the taillights.
Yep. Yep.
Pretty young and active. And anyway, no, it was great.
Yeah.
How about you, Ed? Any comments from you?
No comments. Just Happy New Year.
I thought he was praying for us there for a minute, but
I'm always praying for you guys. You need it.
we need it.
We always need it. Right?
We need it.
Yeah, I'll kind of reiterate the same. Happy New Year to everybody. Got to travel out to Chicago, see my mom, and see my sister and nieces and stuff. Kind of uneventful with my travels at Christmas time, with all of the Southwest debacle and snow and cold weather. Tom's Tours knows how to travel, so. But looking forward to 2023 and the adventure it will be. So.
Good.
Going skiing, Tom? You going out west?
Yeah, I've got an elaborate trip involved. I'm going to be going to Austin, Texas for a farmer conference at the beginning of February, and then tacking on a couple days to play golf with a friend who lives down there, and then going from there to Tampa, meeting a friend over there and playing golf with him through the Super Bowl Sunday, and then from there out to Breckenridge, spending 3 or 4 days there. And then from there to Paris, spending a couple of days in Paris, and then from there to the Trois Valleys of the French Alps for a week, and then from there to Zermatt for a week in the Swiss Alps, and then ending down in Cortina, Italy, and coming home from either Milan or maybe Zurich to actually back to Breckenridge, and doing another 4 or 5 days out there before I come home.
Good for you.
No snow.
What's that, Bill?
There's no snow in the Alps.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
They-
I'm going anyway.
Some of the airlifts are down because there's no snow, but you got more than a month. So
Yeah. Actually, it's they had some great snow out in Breckenridge, and then they've had some warmth and rain. So just like Vermont, they got a real inkling of some great snow early in the season, and now we've got this warmth with rain. But I was looking at Deer Valley there, Tom, and they just passed the 200-inch mark already.
I was getting dumped on. I'm going out to Banff. They're getting a lot out there too.
Okay.
Yeah, good for you.
good for you young guys.
You're as young as you feel.
Well, as your knees will allow, I guess.
Yeah, that is one of my issues. But all right, everybody. Look forward to seeing everybody. I know Bill said that, hey, we should get together. We have all these Zoom meetings, and now we do have the chance to do it with the city's holiday party. But maybe we'll end up doing something outside of that once the warmer weather hits too, and we're all back, or at least I'm back stateside. So
Awesome.
Let's plan on it.
Yeah.
all right. Nothing else on our agenda. We stand adjourned. See you, everybody.
Bye, Teresa. Nice talking to you.